Hello and good afternoon. This is Nate Pilot. I'm Chief of Business Development here, and you're likely watching this video because you just started in our program. So first off, congratulations and welcome aboard. You likely know by now that we serve as your loan officer's secret weapon. We're here simply to lock arms with you and help you cross the finish line and getting of course up to the goal score needed to get your mortgage and get your dream home. So a couple things I wanted to kind of go over just as cautionary tips, but also best practices while you're working in our program. First off, one thing that we really want to look out for, because the whole idea about getting involved in our program and allowing us to work on your behalf and fight for your consumer rights is, we're trying to get your score up. So the best thing to do is avoid the following. Number one is be very, very careful about closing any accounts that you currently have open. The reason I say that is because any positive accounts that you have open that you close during our process cease to positively affect your credit. Therefore, that history actually disappears. So that's a big thing you want to stay away from. Another is accruing any more late payments. Late payments, I don't say that necessarily because I think that you're going to get any late payments by your own efforts or lack thereof. I say that because a lot of what I deal with here, a lot of clients that I see in extreme cases have derogatory items that aren't necessarily their fault. I see a lot of wrongful foreclosures. I see a lot of not necessarily erroneous, but late payments that aren't the fault of the client. I'll give you an example. I have many clients that, for instance, have credit card payments or mortgage payments on automatic pay. Now, that's a good idea, right? This is what I see as people trying to do the right thing, trying to be responsible. Great. We love working with responsible people that are motivated and diligent as far as their credit is concerned. However, one thing to look out for is, I've had clients that, let's say, have automatic payments set up, and for one reason or another, the company that they set up automatic payments with did not charge their account on the agreed upon date. Lo and behold, now you have a late payment on your credit, and that is difficult to remove if it's fresh. So you want to avoid that. Best thing to do is there is a free app. There's a couple free apps you can use to track automatic monthly payments that you have set up with the company that you're doing business with. I encourage you to research the best one for you and use that to manage and keep track of your monthly payments, making sure you're getting not only confirmation numbers, but you're seeing that these accounts or these payments have went through, and that's just something to be careful for. Another thing is, if you are getting harassing or aggressive communications from collection companies, this is a big thing to watch out for. If you get on the phone with a collection company, know this. You're not talking to someone that wants to help you. You're talking to a collection company, and they're for the most part, salespeople. Now, one of their first responsibilities, if they're on the phone with you, is to try to get you to identify yourself and verify the debt. This is a big problem. If you identify yourself and say, yes, that account belongs to me, yes, I owe you X amount of money, what you do is verify the debt and refresh the date of last activity, which you might remember from speaking to one of us is one of the only things that matters in relation to negatively impacting your credit score. Once again, on that same note is making partial or full payments on a collection. And if you don't believe me on this, and if you want to read about this, please do. The more you know, the better. But if you make a partial or a full payment on a collection, more often than not, it will actually harm you quite severely. Here's the thing. The dollar amount on a collection really isn't the important factor. The important factor is the date of last activity. So if you make a partial or a full payment on a collection, what happens is all you do is refresh the date of last activity into the bureaus. It looks like a new collection. And I know this is unfortunate because you're trying to do the right thing, but you want to avoid this because, the last thing we want to see is you ending up in a worse position score-wise while we're fighting fervently to get you in a better position. So definitely avoid that. The only way that paying a collection can benefit you is if you beforehand negotiate a letter of deletion, which is by no means an easy feat. So you want to allow us to do as much work as we can on your behalf. We are, of course, working to exercise your consumer rights. It's kind of like, hiring an attorney to defend you versus defending yourself in court. So definitely let us do our job. We want to make sure you keep as much money in your pocket as possible so that by the time you're ready to make your down payment for your mortgage, you got everything you need. So other than that, those are just a couple quick tips those are a couple quick warnings. Now let's go into a couple quick tips. So a couple quick tips. Any open revolving lines that you have right now, any credit cards, you want to make sure you're practicing proper utilization. So utilization is a very important piece of the algorithm that makes up your numerical credit score. Utilization simply tracks how well you're using your credit. And here's the thing, here's how it works. They want to see that you need credit, but don't need it desperately. They also want to see that you use your credit, but you don't use it frivolously. So utilization is the biggest or the best indicator of how they calculate your credit score. So let's use an example. Let's say you have a $100 limit on your credit card, right? Most people think best practice is to use under 50% of your available limit, which is, that's okay. Other people say good practice is to use less than 30%, that's fine. But let's get phenomenal. So phenomenal, I'm ridiculous, I'm sorry. So phenomenal is between 7 and 10%. So that means out of every $100 of allotted limit on your credit, you're using only between $7 and $10 on it every month. So that's actually how you get an optimal increase in your score, of course, while we're doing the work to remove derogatories that are currently counterbalancing any positive work you might be doing on your credit. So that's a quick little pro tip. Eventually you want to get to the place in which you have maybe 2 or 3 or 4 revolving lines all practicing proper utilization if you want to be in the 700s club. We would love to see you there. But anyway, I don't want to talk your ear off. I've kind of been droning on and on, but I'm excited for you. Welcome aboard, and I'm looking forward to talk. As you might have figured out already, I like working with clients, and I like to be very close to our clients here. For me personally, one of my favorite things about this, what we're doing here, is I love seeing people become successful. I love seeing people get into their dream homes. It's important. Once I speak to someone, I kind of get familiar with their story, their friends, their family. I want to see you win. And so just know you will be hearing from me when you get your first derogatory deletions. I like breaking the good news. I'm an action junkie, so you will actually hear from me directly. I'll be the one breaking you the good news. But other than that, of course, you can always rely on your case manager, of course. But feel free to call me if you like. My direct office line is 818-501-9786. You can send me an email directly as well, nate@creditlawsolutions.com. Other than that, welcome aboard. Let's have an exciting time. Please soak up as much of this information as you can, because we want to teach you how to protect yourself long after we've done a good job getting these derogatories removed. Take care.